How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Rivers Experience. So today we're going to be talking about my 2x48 belt grinder. I was planning on actually making a video of this and showing the build process and things like that, but if I would have done that, it would have taken me about 2.5 weeks to make it. So I work 12 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, and whenever I'm out here in the shop, it's in my spare time. So it would have taken a while because there was a lot of trial and error. I wouldn't say there was a ton of error, but there was a lot of trial. Basically, this is what it is. It's a real simple setup, nothing too crazy. It utilizes a Makita variable speed 1 to 5,000 RPM angle grinder, 3 free spinning wheels. One of them is attached to my tensioner and tracking setup. One of them is a 4-ply 1/2 inch each actual wood drive wheel that I actually made myself. So I used the grinder and I made a makeshift lathe and I went through and crowned that. All of these wheels are crowned as well to help with tracking. Give you an idea, it looks kind of like that right there, where they're actually crowned to either side. Now this was my actual drive wheel. This was one of the first errors. So it had that little hole that I made in there for that, this nut, and I had epoxied it together, but it could not withstand the RPM from the angle grinder. It could do the first setting, the 1,000 RPMs, but it couldn't withstand the 2, 3, 4, 5,000 RPM range. Now, I'm going to give you an idea of how this goes. So we turn it on, adjust the tracking, adjust the speed, it's a pretty simple setup. We have the Platen right here. It's adjustable here, adjustable down here, so I can adjust the angle a little bit to fine tune it. The table is mounted down here through this bar that comes across here that is mounted to the frame. Give you an idea what that looks like right there. And then the angle grinder is mounted from here and on the back side. I'm still working on how I'm going to mount the midsection here. Still working on that, but right now I've got it kind of zip tied and Velcro strapped. It works for now, but you know, it is what it is. I did have a different Platen setup on here, which was this. The downside to this one is it had to be mounted to a pole or another square tube that came up right here, and whenever I had it that way, you couldn't actually rock anything past this or use my plunge line jig here. I couldn't push it past on this side to actually get that nice plunge line because all of this stuff right here would run into the bar that was right there. So I changed it and made it to where you can actually have this extra space here. I could use both sides of it and get a nice plunge line on it. Now, to me, one of the bigger benefits to this, having a 2x48 versus a 1x30, actually means I will go through less belts and the material will stay cooler longer. Whenever you have the 1x30s, your material gets hot real fast because the belt has less travel time and the belt gets hot real fast. This has a little bit of time to cool down, but there's also another thing that I like about it. So whenever you are doing any type of grinding on one of these, all of the shavings end up right here. Now, give you an idea. all down here. Now I have a magnet down here and it helps collect them, but everything else just goes right here and all over the shop. Whenever you have this set up, they all end up in here. Plus, let me give you a little demonstration of how well it works. Now, this file has not been annealed. It's still fully heat treated, and I did that to it. So it's definitely it's definitely worth it. Now, other than the angle grinder, which I already had, this cost me about $100 to make, and I am super happy with how it turned out. Now, if y'all want me to do a video on, you know, disassembling it and actually showing you each individual piece, I will do that. But other than that, if you like it, go ahead, leave me a like. If you have any suggestions or you want to ask me a question about it, leave that in the comment section. Other than that though, that's the end of this one. Nice and simple. Y'all have an amazing day. I'll catch y'all next time.